There was a time when Nicolas Cage could do no wrong. He wasn't just a movie star, he was the movie star. The man whose name alone could pull in box office millions. His energy was unpredictable, his characters unforgettable, and his face everywhere. But behind the wild performances and eccentric charm, something was quietly unraveling. A fortune worth more than $150 million was slipping through his fingers. Mansions, islands, castles, gone. Tax bills, lawsuits, bad investments, they piled up fast. This is the story of how Nicolas Cage went from Hollywood royalty to financial ruin, and the remarkable comeback that followed. The rise, from the Coppola legacy to Hollywood's frontline-born Nicolas Kim Coppola in Long Beach, California. In 1964, Cage's story began in the shadow of Hollywood greatness. His uncle was the legendary director Francis Ford Coppola, the man behind The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. But Nicolas wanted none of the nepotism that came with the Coppola name. He wanted to earn his fame on his own terms. So, inspired by Marvel's hero Luke Cage, he changed his name to Nicolas Cage, a move that symbolized his rebellion and independence. From there, he set out to prove he was more than a famous relative's project. In the early 1980s, Cage burst onto the scene with roles in Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Valley Girl, showing flashes of the eccentric brilliance that would define his career. By the 1990s, he wasn't just a quirky actor, he was a mega-star. Leaving Las Vegas earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, cementing his place among Hollywood's elite. But Cage didn't stop there. He transformed himself into an unlikely action hero in The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off, commanding salaries of $20 million per film. He was unstoppable, the kind of success most actors only dream of. The golden years, when money was no object. And with that success came wealth beyond imagination. At the height of his fame, Nicolas Cage's net worth soared past $150 million. And he spent it like a man determined to live every dream he ever had. There was no maybe later for Cage. If he wanted it, he bought it. 15 luxury estates across the globe, 2 European castles, a private island in the Bahamas, a fleet of exotic cars and motorcycles, rare art, jewels, and even a 70-million-year-old dinosaur skull that he later had to return after learning it was stolen. He bought shrunken pygmy heads, a 9-foot-tall burial tomb in New Orleans, and dozens of exotic animals. It was excess on a scale that even Hollywood couldn't believe. Cage wasn't just rich. He was living as though the rules of money no longer applied. But every fortune, no matter how large, has a breaking point. Behind the extravagance was chaos. Financial advisors were mismanaging funds, tax payments were being ignored, and the 2008 housing crash was about to hit him where it hurt most. His sprawling real estate empire. The downfall. When the fortune crumbled. When the economy collapsed, Cage's fortune went with it. The IRS came knocking, demanding more than $14 million in unpaid taxes. One by one, the mansions were sold. The castles, gone. The island, gone. Even his prized comic book collection, which included Action Comics number 1, the first appearance of Superman, had to be auctioned off. For a man who once stood atop the world, the fall was brutal. By 2009, Cage was buried under a mountain of debt. Lawsuits from former business partners piled up, and tabloids mocked him as Hollywood's cautionary tale. He had gone from Oscar winner to a symbol of excess and recklessness. The question on everyone's mind was simple. How does someone blow through $150 million? But the answer, in Cage's world, was complicated. He once said in an interview, I can't take it with me, and I want to experience everything. That hunger, to live, to feel, to do, was the very thing that made his performances electric. And ironically, it was also what led to his financial undoing. Yet, Nicolas Cage didn't run. He didn't declare bankruptcy or disappear. Instead, he did something no one expected. He worked. Non-stop. Between 2011 and 2019, Cage starred in over 30 films, many of them low-budget or straight-to-video releases. Critics called them desperate cash grabs, and in some cases, they were right. But for Cage, they were survival. Each film chipped away at the mountain of debt, one paycheck at a time. While others mocked him, Cage showed an unbreakable work ethic. In interviews, he said he never phoned it in, no matter the size of the project. He gave every role everything he had. Because for him, acting wasn't just a job, it was who he was. During this time, his public image shifted. The internet turned Nicolas Cage into a meme. His intense expressions, his unpredictable energy, his larger-than-life performances became viral sensations. He was everywhere again, but not in the way he once had been. To many, he was a punchline. But underneath the mockery, something else was happening. People were rediscovering him. The memes made audiences curious. They went back, rewatched his films, and realized just how talented he truly was. And then, slowly, the comeback began. In 2018, Cage starred in Mandy, a surreal revenge thriller that earned him critical praise and a cult following. It reminded people that beneath the eccentric persona was a serious actor capable of extraordinary performances. Then came Pig in 2021, a quiet, heartbreaking film about a reclusive chef searching for his stolen truffle pig. It wasn't just a movie, it was a statement, a meditation on loss, purpose, and redemption. Critics called it one of the best performances of his career. Suddenly, the laughter turned into applause. The man Hollywood had written off was back, not as a blockbuster star, but as an artist. In 2022, he took it one step further with The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, a meta-comedy where Cage played a fictionalized version of himself, broke, misunderstood, and trying to find his place in the world again. It was self-aware, funny, and surprisingly emotional. The audience loved it. The film became a love letter to everything that made Nicolas Cage both ridiculous and brilliant. It marked a full-circle moment, a man reclaiming his story by turning it into art. Today, Nicolas Cage's fortune isn't what it once was, but his reputation has never been stronger. He's paid off his debts, rebuilt his career, and found a sense of peace that once seemed impossible. In recent interviews, he's spoken about living a quieter life, focusing on his family and choosing roles that truly matter to him. Gone are the mansions and dinosaurs. In their place is humility and perspective. "I've gone through tremendous highs and tremendous lows," Cage said. "But through it all, I never lost my love for acting." What makes Nicolas Cage's story so compelling isn't just the money or the fame, it's the resilience. He fell harder than most stars ever do, but he never gave up. He turned his downfall into a second act. He proved that reinvention is possible, even after the world stops believing in you. His career is no longer defined by his fortune, but by his willingness to start over, again and again. And maybe that's the real lesson of Nicolas Cage. That greatness isn't about never falling. It's about what you do after you hit the ground. He once said, "I don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a student of life." And that's exactly what he became. A man who learned from his mistakes and used them to fuel his evolution. From the glitz of Hollywood's golden age to the depths of financial ruin, Nicolas Cage lived a life of extremes. He chased art, he chased pleasure, he chased freedom, and in the end, he found balance. Not in money, but in meaning. He's a reminder that fame fades, fortunes crumble, but true passion never dies. Nicolas Cage may have lost $150 million, but he gained something far more valuable: redemption. And as he continues to surprise audiences with performances that blend madness and mastery, one thing is clear. You can take away his money, his mansions, even his fame, but you can never take away Nicolas Cage's spirit. Because in the story of Hollywood's wildest spender, the final chapter isn't about loss, it's about survival. The fortune was fleeting, the fall was real, but the comeback? That's legendary.